So you want to be a good Jew? Listen to the power of the reading this week. The Sidra is called Mishpatim. And early on in the passage, there's the story about a thief who goes out and steals an ox or takes a sheep, and then he slaughters it or sells it. When he is caught, the court is responsible to find the individual who has stolen the sheep by replacing it with the value of a single sheep. And if he's stolen an ox, he has to replace it with 4. Why the difference? Rashi looks at the passage and says, the difference is humiliation. In the first instance, he stole the sheep, and when he did, he had to put it around his neck. He had to hold it very carefully, nuzzle its mouth. He had to look over his shoulder continually to make sure that nobody was watching him. He felt ashamed and humbled by the experience of having to rob the sheep. The cow, on the other hand, he simply led away. So what's the learning for us, the reader of this passage? The learning for us, what we take away from it, is that every person deserves respect. No matter what they've done, no matter what their crime, no matter what their guilt, their level of guilt, we are always to consider their humanity above all else. No one ever forfeits the right and the privilege that is afforded every human being, the dignity and respect that comes with being a child of God, even a thief. The second learning that arises from the same passage is one that's brought to bear by Reb Bunim, a Hasidic master. Reb Bunim makes the observation about a thief. He says the thief carefully plots out what he wants to do. He looks and makes sure that everything is carefully plotted and absorbed and understood before he goes on his mission to steal what he wants to get. And if the object turns out to be a small one, he's not disappointed and he doesn't abandon it. He puts as much planning and care into it as something that would be large and a great reward to him. And if he fails in his task, the thief doesn't give up. He tries again and again. Says Reb Bunim, we have much to learn from this. For the responsibility of the good people of the world is to be as careful and as meticulous as the bad. We should be circumspect, look very carefully, plot and plan in the process of doing God's will. And if we only achieve in doing a small mitzvah, take joy from that, and don't think of it as something that is lost time because it wasn't a large mitzvah. And if we fail, we try again, we never give up. We have much to learn from the thief about care, deliberation, planning, and about the prospect of doing God's will. May it be so for you and for I in the coming week. May we find God's will coursing through our body, becoming a part of ourself and our soul. I wish you a good Shabbos, and may you feel the holy essence inside of your body, mind, and soul this week.